No weep holes over the lintels. No doorbell. Leave on calling. No doorbell. So I'm just kind of moving along through here. If it looks like it's darker outside, it's because it's winter solstice. It's a big house, and it is darker outside. So you might have guessed this is going to be my last video of the day. This GFCI controls this half of the kitchen. Last video of the day. And this is the time when I like to say thank you, dear client, for your trust and your business. Those things mean the world to my family and I. And if you think that I did a pretty good job for you, a good Google review means a lot to a small businessman like myself. So I'd appreciate that if you find it in your heart to, if you feel like I did a good job for you. I'd like to think I did, but I tried. And for the rest of my 6 followers, there is a like button down there. If you got a giggle from this, watching me fumble through life, thank you. And if you got insomnia or something like that, you can subscribe over here. And I'm told that my videos my smooth voice can put you to sleep. So I'm going to leave some lights on inside here. Let's see, I'm going to turn this light on. I need to put that cover plate back. The keys to the house are with the cover plate. So if I'm going to be able to lock the house, then I will know to put that cover plate back. Moving on through, the fireplace has been turned off. What can I say, What can I say about this? Elixir. Coming on in, I'm going to close this garage door. We had a video about this. This is where your electric load center is. Service panels, call them what you will. Floors have been painted. Now, all home inspectors are required to render an opinion about the foundation. Okay, it doesn't mean that we're engineers. I use engineering equipment. But just because I use engineering equipment doesn't mean that I'm an engineer. I do not calculate slope. Okay? So I'm not talking about specs and tolerances. I use a couple guidelines that home inspectors do to, one, the house has been remodeled, so I can't really rely on how the windows are operating. The house has been remodeled, I can't really rely on how the doors are operating. The house has been remodeled, so I can't really look for much in the way of cracks or whatever. So I'm left with one of the few things that I actually have is a zip level. And I'm looking for the floor height elevation differential. And FHA says no more than 1 inch within 25 feet. They think that's too much, whether they're right or wrong. If it's good enough for FHA, it's good enough for me. There's not 1 inch of difference within 25 feet in this structure. And then another guideline that I use from a floor level manufacturer, a different model that I use, but still somebody that's in the industry making tools for my industry. They say no more than 2 inches overall. And this house doesn't have that. In fact, this house measures no more than 1 inch overall. Much more than 25 feet total. So it measures well. That doesn't mean that it's stable. It just means that it's level. And the same can be said for the outbuilding. You can't really see that because I turned all the lights to the outbuilding off, so we'll know that there's no lights out there. I have to unlock the door because I locked it. No, I did not lock that. It's a good thing I did. See how dark that is? And it's locked. I must have gone out for something. Let's see if this one's locked. All the windows are shut. And I'm not sure, so I'm going to retouch on this. I turned this thermostat off because this unit is not working. And it was freezing up in the heat mode, and they're supposed to, but every once in a while, not continuously. So that told me something was wrong. I put it on the cooling mode, it doesn't rake any heat out of the air. So it is malfunctioning. There's lots of different reasons it could do that. There could be a stuck valve. There could be a problem with the refrigerant charge. There's just a variety of reasons. Hot and cold is reversed, the orientation for that. Okay. I got a light switch in here for the outside there. Nice. Yeah, okay. But that door's locked and closed. Let's try this slider. We're missing our sliding screen here. It's locked and closed. So, anyway, the foundation measures very well. And that's a good thing. And I've tested all the receptacle outlets. And we've really had some interesting things here. That one works fine. But while we're doing this, we'll just back through it. This house had something that's kind of unique or interesting. A lot of times, back in the day, they said we put one of this that's dedicated. It doesn't have to be GFCI. It's not GFCI, but it no longer applies. This should be GFCI protected, and the ceilings should be GFCI protected, and they're not. But check this out. All three lights come on. And I can't use a old school probe to analyze that any further because it's tamper proof, and so I can't stick those little pins in there. And so when all three come on, there's not a scale for this, and it tells me, well, one, it's not GFCI protected, and two, it's not grounded properly, and it's also true that it's not wired properly. It might be reverse polarity. I don't know what all the particulars are. I just know that it's not. It didn't blow up in my hand, so there's that. But I wouldn't depend on it. Coming on along through our kitchen. These are not supposed to be higher from the cooktop than 35 inches. I believe it's what the manufacturer's specification supersedes code, but I cannot. It's about 35 and a half. Whatever. Okay. Not to discount my work. We talked about the foundation, and I said thank you. I did. And I mean it. Okay. This door is only 17 inches wide. It's supposed to be a minimum of 24 inches wide. How are you going to get the equipment out of there? How's that equipment going to come out through this door? Who came up with that idea? I don't know. These windows are closer to the floor than 24 inches. If this home was built this morning, they wouldn't be, but back in 1990, that was acceptable. So nobody changed the windows, or not too many of them. And but we've got locks inside the windows now. And that's your get around. Speaking of windows, speaking of door, I just feel like this house has been remodeled. I don't know what it looked like before. I don't have any before and after pictures to compare it to. I have to go with my experience and my instinct. But something tells me that some walls have been moved or modified. And I could be wrong. But anytime a building is remodeled, it should have building permits. Anytime you move a wall, you should have building permits. So it should be checked out by an engineer. The municipality would do that. So, just a thought, There's more to this story. This beautiful, beautiful, luxurious bathroom with the 2 upstairs bedrooms. That's pretty nice. That's pretty nice. Again, the windows, carpet's in pretty good shape. It's not the most luxurious quality of carpet, and also as I kind of step against it here a little bit in some places, I feel like maybe it could have been a little tighter. So I think after you live here for a little while, just from my experience, it's probably going to need to be restretched eventually. 6 sides of a door are supposed to be painted to maintain the door's warranty. This is the front face, this is the back face, this is the latch side style, this is the hinge side style. Those are all painted. The top and bottom rails are not painted on these doors, so they don't have, I don't know when you'll have an opportunity to have a door warranty, but if it ever comes to pass that you've got, some type of an event or catastrophe, or just call it what you will, if somebody tries to put it, well, the doors are new, you should have a warranty for that flood or whatever. I don't know, I'm making things up, and I shouldn't do that. But the doors were not painted on the tops and bottom rails as the manufacturer specified in order to maintain the manufacturer's warranty. I know that much. That's exactly what I know. So, I did not do a moisture test on this bottom floor like I did in the other structure, because this is all hard tile or carpet, so that test does not apply to this structure like it did in the outbuilding, the guest house. I'm trying to stay honest here. Everybody's locked. Okay. We're getting to the end. Primary bedroom. This thermostat faces western exposure. And really, this is the only one. The upstairs one doesn't really count. So, in theory, the sun coming through here could influence this. Something to think about. You're not supposed to have thermostats. Huh. Okay, that's all the way. That's a fully engaged latch. Okay. I guess so. Moving on along, I turned that fireplace off. This thermostat, the thermostat upstairs is set at 65. This thermostat is set at 65. You're still going, aren't you? You gotta be careful how you turn that off. It will leak. It will leak. You might want to look at the instructions and see if it's got if it's supposed to have like a notch in here or something, a stop, some way that you would know that it's that is off. Oh, it's always going to run, like it has been running. And that's the way I found it too, and so I'm not the only one that had a little bit of difficulty with that. Okay, I did not turn those on. So if the thermostat's in here, by the way, thermostat's not supposed to be in a bedroom because you can close the door. Thermostat's a dumb animal. It just keeps you happy right there. Now, that being said, this is the only other room that is controlled by that air conditioning system, HVAC system. It's only the heat. This thermostat controls the temperatures in these two rooms. And this is not like an office study or something. So it's still, if you close that door, this temperature could be off. We're missing several screens. But really, this is it. I have got to put I got to find out what that light is. I know I can't deal with that one, but oh, and this was plugged in too, by the way. So I am going to get my screwdriver and put the cover plate on and leave. Thank you very much.